Hey everybody, it's Candace West, and I played Pam, the White House masseuse on The Have and the Have-Nots, and I just wanted to take a second to thank the fans for their unwavering support. It was such an honor to be a part of that show. You guys are the best.
All right, thanks to Candace for that message to the fans there. And if you don't remember her character, she was the one who gave Charles that relaxing massage towards the end of the series. And from that scene alone, I was like, where can I schedule an appointment? And like I said in my other video, keep watching the channel as I do more haves and have not content. You never know who's going to pop up with a surprise message to the fans. And thanks in advance to those who agreed to do a little something for those who have been rocking with the show since its days back on the OWN network. Now let's jump into the video. Okay, so this particular video is pretty straightforward. Over the past week, I didn't watch the entirety of season 1, but I watched a good maybe 12 to 14 episodes. And yes, it's almost been 10 years since these episodes aired, but I gotta say overall they really do a good job in terms of holding up. Really, these are some solid episodes. I mean, it was a chance for me to not be my normal self. What I mean by that is I didn't watch these shows for context. I didn't have my notebook in front of me. I didn't have Twitter open so I can tweet as the show was, playing. I didn't, jot down any theories. I just sat back and watched episode to episode. And I truly enjoyed it. Seriously, I really, really enjoyed rewatching this show from its early stages. Now, it really took me back to like 2013, 2014 as season 1 was airing, and it really did give all the soap opera vibe. I mean, the set pieces look amazing. The different locations of the Crier estate, Hannah's home, I don't think we ever saw much of David and Veronica's home outside of David and Veronica's bedroom and then their living room. And then, of course, later on in the show when she set the place on fire, we saw like the front steps and whatnot. Yeah, and it just really, I forgot how little we saw of their house. But from there, you have the wardrobe, which, if I remember correctly, Crystal Hazlett, aka Fatima, before she was ever in front of the camera of a Tyler Perry project, she was doing work behind the scenes. And I have to say, a lot of the wardrobe stuff she did, phenomenal. The camera angles, great. The dialogue, perfection. I remember way back when my mom and I, the show was so good, and it did a great job of setting up things. Not everything that was set up got paid off, but a majority of the things that were said were definitely foreshadowing for seasons later down the road. But this was at a point where Tyler Perry projects, this show specifically, you had to pay attention to everything that was being shown, that was being said. You had to pay attention to how it was being said by a character, because it all built up to something. And also, I got to give a special shout out to, if I'm not mistaken, is it Elvin Ross, who I did a video about recently in regards to, him transforming a Six Flags into something else. But regardless, he's worked with Tyler Perry for a long time. The music is great. The background tunes, the opening theme, all that stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, some of those background tracks are used in some shows today. I'm pretty sure I heard a couple of the background tracks from the Haves and the Have-Nots utilizing the Oval at some point. Like that. Like the scary music when something suspenseful happens like that. Wait, why am I sizzling like a pan? I can't really do it. I'm sorry. I'm kind of stuffy right now. But that like tense music when it focuses on a dead body or something, or somebody opens a door, sees something, and they're like, and then the episode ends. Yeah, that. But I posted this on social media this morning, and this isn't me crapping on the Viacom era shows, Sisters, Bruh, Oval, Ruthless, House of Pain reboot, Assisted Living, this, that, and the third. But when I was watching the Haves and the Have-Nots, there was just like a certain charm, a sense of genuine quality that's been lacking from Tyler Perry projects from 2019 to now. in terms of a show that had me going, wow, I never expected this from Tyler Perry, I think Ruthless is the only project that had me shocked, when I was watching season 1 and it really started getting good. It's just that the haves and the have-nots was like pinnacle Tyler Perry quality, because this was at a time where he wasn't doing like 20 different things at once. He was just focusing on this. And I can't remember the exact date for when Love Thy Neighbor came out, but I don't know. I think Love Thy Neighbor came out the same time as the Haves and the Have-Nots. But regardless, it was only 2 shows. One show that the Haves and the Have-Nots really had a lot of time and attention put towards. Love Thy Neighbor was kind of a more comedic show, so it really didn't demand as much work from Tyler Perry. And then the Haves and the Have-Nots, I don't feel like it started to drag or take a dip in quality until If Loving You Was Wrong and then Too Close to Home came out. When those 2 shows came out, that's when I noticed Tyler Perry content on the Haves and the Have-Nots starting to drag. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I think it was around early to mid season 2. Or season 3 when it was originally aired, because that's how it was promoted as season 3. Basically after Amanda shot herself, Jim got abducted by Candace, and, he was trying to make his bid to run for governor. This was after Benny had come out of the coma from the hit and run. That's when the show kind of started to drag, and then it got worse as the show went on. But if you were to ever watch the show and you haven't watched it before, I highly recommend at least the first 2 seasons. Those are like peak. If you have never watched the show, watch the first season. Just watch the first season, or hell, even the first 10 episodes. I swear, I double guarantee, if you watch the first 10 episodes, you'll be like, where the hell is this level of quality in the BET shows? Seriously, watch those first 10 episodes and go, well, damn, I didn't know Tyler Perry had it in him. And for those who have been fans of the show since day one, or even fans who came into the show late, and maybe you only watched the first season when they were doing the big marathons on the OWN network like they did back in the day, go back if you haven't revisited the show, and you'll see that, man, this really was good stuff. I'm telling you, I was shocked. And this is I'm a guy who's broken this show down since day one, years on my blog and then on YouTube. And even I was shocked going back to go, wow, I've been used to the mediocre, low quality stuff, the repetitive writing on a lot of his current shows for the past few years, and Sisters in the Oval. But to go back to a show where it felt like each new episode, you had to do it. This was before Tuesday night had a lot of competition, So this was must-see TV. The hashtag, the haves and the have-nots, yeah, before hashtag HAHN, before Twitter allowed more than 140 or 140 characters. This was must-see TV, back when Veronica, Candace, a number of characters would be trending. There was no Fatima, there was no Zatima, there was no Ruthless. It was the haves and the have-nots. And even crazier, no pun intended here, but you notice that in season 1, Veronica was tame. If you watch season 1 Veronica, there was no indication she was going to be, completely off the deep end as the show went on. Seriously, you go back, you won't even recognize that character. You won't. You'll be like, wow, Jeremy, you say Veronica's the best villain in the Tyler Perry universe? I mean, she got nothing on Victoria. Are you really serious? Nah, that's season 1 Veronica, though. And that's why I really appreciate it, because when you watch the early episodes, and it's like, wow, because if you know where the characters end up and how some of them change, to be honest, that's why the later seasons of the show aren't as good in my opinion. Because in the first season or 2, each character meant something to the damn plot. Yes, some characters had more importance than others. Because if I remember correctly, in season 1B, however you want to say it, after getting out of the hospital from her surgery, Catherine wasn't a major player like she was in the first half of the season. Veronica, she was more of a reactive character. When she felt something wasn't right, she did things to find things out behind the scenes, because one thing about this show, it was really kind of like the men versus the women, where David and Jim would try to do something, and then, you know, Veronica would try to figure out what it is. It was kind of like the guys versus girls. And Catherine and Veronica really didn't, you know, have that many meaningful interactions. Like, we established their quote unquote friendship, but of course, we really had more of a dynamic between Hannah and Catherine than Catherine and, let's say, Veronica. Catherine even confided in Hannah that the only reason, you know, Veronica is quote unquote her friend is because of her social status. Basically, being around Catherine does something for Veronica's, you know, position in society. Wyatt wasn't just an addict. Yes, he was a recovering addict in therapy and rehab and whatnot, but at the same time, he was trying to figure things out. Like, okay, I know Candace and my dad are banging, and Amanda, oh sweet Amanda, after the assault from her professor and whatnot, dang, things got wild. But every character mattered. Celine, man, I forgot how sassy she was in that first season. Benny, this ain't knocking his dream, but I still have never met anyone who had a dream of being a tow truck driver. I'm just saying. But yeah, even he had a purpose. Like I said, some have more. And oh yeah, Marcy, aka Darcy, from If Loving You Is Wrong, had a couple of a couple episode appearances in the show, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, I highly recommend going back. Seriously, this was when the show felt grounded, before Justin's annoying ass showed up, before President-elect all of a sudden felt horny for Candace. Before the show really got off the rails, it was truly grounded, felt real, it was amazing. Please, I urge you. What is it on Hulu, right? I think it's on Hulu. Or find the show. Look, it's 2023. You can find the show if you really look for it. I'm not going to tell you where, but you can find it online. Go watch the show. Like I said, at least watch the first few episodes to remember how good it really, 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 really was, and how it truly holds up even to this day. Lord, would Tyler Perry please put this show on DVD or Blu-ray? But we live in 2023, the age of streaming. I love my physical copies. And I swear, I will rewatch the entire show he put in on home release. Please do it for the 10th anniversary. Have a bunch of cast interviews and stuff like that. I want it. I want it. Please do. All right. Well, with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next.